What's good, y'all? Welcome. 1 2 1 2. Hey. What up? How's it going? Check 1 2. Hey. To turn off monitoring, which is kind of a preference thing I've heard. Some people, when they're in an interview or like streaming, broadcasting, they like to hear themselves as they talk in the headphones. And I've kind of come to the conclusion that I don't like that. It makes me like I got to sound check it first and then think about, and then just not think about it, because when I hear the compression and the EQ and stuff like that, the noise gate, it makes me think about it. Like as a producer, I'm just thinking about that shit. But yeah, welcome. It's an exciting day. We're going to submit a new song to Distrokid, who will then distribute it to our streaming services like Spotify, Apple Music, fucking Deezer. You know what I'm saying? So it should be a fun one. I'm excited for this one. I've kind of, I loved Beattober. As you know, if you're a viewer of this channel, it really, even though I only did 10 days out of 31, it still kind of brought out a lot of good things in me as a producer. And it left me with a ton of content, like a ton of music. And honestly, the videos were kind of just the minimum so I could get by day to day. I didn't like bang stuff ahead of time. I always like to do it the day of, the video, the beat, everything. Because to me, that was the exercise. So anyway, left with a lot of music that I really like. Like some of the tracks were a little like not usable or maybe like funny, like my Sonic Trap song, a trap beat made with largely Sonic sounds, which was like amazing, but I'm not about to release that under Metacara. You know what I'm saying? There were a few really jammy ones that I'm looking forward to building out further, which is exactly what I've done with this track called Breathe Deep. And I want to kind of walk through where this started, and then listen to kind of what we have in Logic and that what I'll ultimately submit to Distrokid. So let me see. Hey, look, it's us. All right, so I'm going to go to the Metacara channel. And by the way, if you haven't listened to this Biggie flip I released last week, go check it out, please. Let me hit 100 on that. I really like that one. I think it's strong. But to go to Beattober, which by the way, I've arranged into like a playlist here that, I think is really fun to listen to just front to back. It's a journey. I take you all the way from the beginning of the excursion all the way through the conclusion of the expedition that we called Beattober. But the beat I'm talking about is day 5. It was called Breathe Deep. The beat was called that. And it's this chill lo-fi song. So here's what we're starting with. Nice piano loop. We got drums, and I've been trying to layer in at least one snare drum that has a little more high end, kind of brings a little brightness, as opposed to super lo-fi, like radio sounding snares. So that's been great, and I think it lends itself well to this track. But you get the idea. I mean, there's a couple changes actually, which I end up reducing for the final version. We're going to take a look at in a second. Check this change out. Like, very much a vibe. And then it even changes again toward the end, which, when Kyla heard this, when I made it that day, like, she actually laughed at this part. She was like, it keeps going. So that was my sign to maybe edit a little bit, maybe reduce this jam a little bit. What can I remove? A great designer or a great creator doesn't ask themselves, what can I add, when they're close to finishing a project. They rather ask themselves, what can I remove? So this is day 5, chill lo-fi hip hop. It's a thing. But I thought there was potential with this track because if I'm looking at like Lush Lo-Fi, these, and I also want to check something else out here. I want to look at their album art too, because we're going to do that just straight up right now as well on stream. But let's listen to a few of these tracks. Snippets. Okay. So you got like really tight drums, you know, really warm, lush, savory keys. Here again, you hear some of that high end in the percussion, which I didn't listen to in my lo-fi stuff that I liked originally. Like, it was all kind of rounded out, gritty stuff, but I've been liking the high end snares quite a bit. In this one too, listen to that water in the background, like the rain sound. Some nice Foley. So I don't want to get a copyright on these, but just playing a little bit just to get the idea. Oh, what's good, Eldre? This one is called Foley. Like, okay. We don't need to show them how the sausage is made, Luigi. You don't need to mention Foley, bruh. Oh, look, it's another snare. It's another song called Sidechain Compression. Love that. You don't need to pull back the curtain, my guy. But anyway, just kidding. All the love in the world to Luigi Valentino, a fellow paisano. We love you. Thanks for bringing this to the world. It's a great title. Hey, it got me thinking about it, and it got my attention, so it's a good title. So yeah, there's kind of a theme here, and you know, when you watch tip videos that like Eldre will make a lot, other people, just randoms that I watch. Let me see this album art real quick. This is like something like what I'm gonna do without the text. kind of lean toward like architectural stuff for album art. But all the tip videos for like submitting to playlists for lo-fi, kind of say go to the playlist and listen to what's on there and try to kind of model your song around it, both visually with the album art, which I don't love a lot of these, but then there's like other ones that are just really nice. Like some of them are just kind of generic because I think they're gonna do what we're about to do, is just like go on a royalty-free image site and get some images and make album art out of it. Oh, I like that start. That's hard. Actually, a lot of these have text. Should I use text? It's like almost every one. I don't know. I don't feel like album arts or album covers need text. What is that, bro? I'm sorry. I'm gonna not be a hater ass bitch, but look at that album art. You see these triangles? Bro. What font is that? Yeah, these all have text. Damn, that's saying something, right? Like I should use text, I guess. All right, so we'll see what we can do there. But for now, I would love to show y'all this song. I built it out a little bit. I feel like it's not the most fun thing to watch, like just when someone is just chipping away in Logic or like a DAW. So I already bounced this. It's like ready to upload, but I wanted to show you all the tracks that are going on, and kind of, how it sounds before we submit. So let's give it a listen. So we have our Foley. You can hear this rain in the background, right? The drums just slap, but they're not too loud. They're not hurting our ears. The focus is on the keys and the loops, but with that nice percussion to kind of tie it all together. So something to note, before you heard like multiple changes, right? It would like change. I guess it's a key change, to be honest. I don't know. I think it is. But like right there, I made that change happen earlier. So in the Beattober version, which is 3 minutes total, compared to this cut, this edit, which is 2 minutes total, cut out a whole minute, which is great. I think 2 minutes for this kind of song is perfect. But that change is now happening, instead of repeating again like it did for Beattober, that change is now happening before 1 minute, which I think is important. So we rock with that a little bit. Just drums and keys, and then the guitar will come back in. Look at this. This is my artistic creation. I'm being so vulnerable right now. All for the love of the game. Everything sounds really nice. So we're getting to the end of the song, and instead of going to that change again for a whole nother part, I just included it in the fade out, in the studio fade, the stereo out fade. So it's just like this Easter egg for those people who like listen to the whole song. I've heard this, I feel like, in like a classic rock song. I don't remember what, but I remember hearing this on like WDVE, which if you're from Pittsburgh, you you know what's up with DVE. They play the classic rock. It's your dad's station, 100%. And I was kind of raised with it on in the background. And when I was a child, you know, I'm tapping into those childhood memories. I remember a fade out where they just teased uh, a key change during the fade out, and you're just like, wow, they like caring about the listener until the very last millisecond, right? So let's listen to that again. I'm really happy with it instead of just repeating the same shit. And then maybe this way my fiance won't laugh at me when I show her this song. So nice. Um, and yeah, it's actually because there's like a little beginning part. The bounce is actually 2 minutes exactly, which I love. Um, so let me close out of Logic here. Um, let's see what's next. I think the next piece would be to pick our album art. Um, to create our album art because you know I think we're gonna do some text based on. I just proved to myself that it's important to use text because based on that theory of like um based on the theory of look at the playlist that you're trying to get on, I did so and every track that I clicked on had text. So I think I'm just gonna do the song title. Like I'm not trying to do too much. Like I said, like just visually, I don't even like when there's text on an album cover. Um, I know you can't see. Just give me 1 sec. I'm gonna pull up um, a Figma file here, which has like all my graphics and thumbnails and stuff in it. I'm just gonna use this for that purpose. Breathe deep, album art. Okay. So this is Figma. I really like this. I'm a designer by day, and I really like this program for digital design as well as well, it's all digital design, but for like, you know, website design, app design, UX design. And I also love it for Metacara because look, these are all my thumbnails. I'll show you. I mean, there's a lot of drafts in here that didn't make it that are kind of embarrassing. I mean, it's all embarrassing. Like, let's be honest. This is the one that I use. Like, it's all pretty embarrassing. But yeah, shout out to the iOS 15 feature where you could just tap a photo you take because you could just make these like pretty solid thumbnails. This was for turn. Just trying like different ideas, like randomly flip this photo. Um, but yeah, I just call this like Metacar Workbench 2022. But back to the album art. Um, this song I would love to just play and then let me see. I would love to play this while we look for album art and just kind of think about how does this make me feel? You know, what would be a good pairing? And like I said, I'm already leaning toward like architecture, like a few buildings with like a setting sun in the background. So envisioning it before you dive in, I think, is really important as well. So you're not just like scrolling endlessly. Like I'm actually looking for something specific. Um, so let's see. I'm gonna play Breathe Deep, the master. Here we go. Um, while we look through this. One thing I love about, oh, this is Unsplash, by the way. Unsplash, it's all royalty-free images that you can use for album art with no problem. And I've actually met some really cool artists through this. Like, it'll tell you who the artist is, then you can reach out to them. Excuse me. All right, this is a possibility. I like this. It's a little too summery, but I do like it. I'm planning to release this January. Damn, I was gonna do January 6th, but I feel like that day is gonna be hectic from what happened last year. Might be remembering that a little bit, reflecting. So maybe I'll do the following week, but either way, it's gonna be like winter vibes. This is nice. Here we go. This is cool. It's like a winter. Don't love the cars in there. Could probably zoom it in. Let me try a winter sunset. This is kind of nice. This honestly like tells a story. This is great. I think I like this. For January, right? Like, even if it's not that snowy, it's kind of good. Play this again. And like, if we're gonna use text, like breathe deep right here. Damn, this is nice. Sophie, my cat. Shout out. Links to their Instagram. Oh no, this is their Unsplash page. Yeah, download free. Let's see. So I downloaded that. I'm pretty set on that one. Like, it's gentle, it's humble. Man, this sounds good. I really like this. Like, the buildings can't be too big. That's kind of nice. I like the humble vibes. Let me try architecture. Yeah, like when you type architecture, I think that's what I've done for past projects. You get the really artistic looking buildings. Like, that's great. This is kind of cool. And then it's like, if this pops up on playlists later than January, like, it's still a cold feeling photo, but there's not actual snow. I think this is a no-go. That's too summery. All right. So we're looking for humble. We're looking for warm. It's kind of nice. These are just stunning. I mean, these ones. Simone. Yeah, it's all the same architect, or all the same photographer. All right, so we have architecture. Let's try cold. Like, again, that tells a kind of a nice story. A little Schweppes plug. Okay. Let's see. What if What if we did... Oh, wait a second. That's really nice. That's in New York too. I like that. That might be my favorite so far. Because it's telling a story, but it's also like just kind of visually succinct. And it's like, I don't know, people probably have mixed feelings about using this type of imagery where it's like you're scrolling other people's work and you're using royalty free stuff. But I am not going to take these photos myself. And these resources are available with full transparency to the creator, to the photographer. So it's, in my opinion, it's the same thing as, especially if I shout out the photographer, which I usually do. It's the same thing as like hiring a photographer. Like, it's okay. It's the same thing with sampling, you know, like it's all good. Splice is fine. Like, but let me know if you want me to tell you how I really feel. This I feel like is great. That's a maybe. Just doesn't do it for me. So I'm gonna download this one too, and we'll have two side by side. We'll pull those into Figma, and then you can kind of, you know, compare both. So the recommended size is 3000 by 3000, which this is a little smaller. Not the best, but it doesn't matter too much. I mean, that was pretty big. This other one, let's pull in. Damn, this one's really fun. It's like this isn't a square at all. We're gonna go width 3000, center. Yeah, that makes sense. 302, eh? Let's do 3000. Okay. We play this track again. This is what I do. I just play it over and over. Hit the vibe. Okay, so there's rain in the beat. And I use rain in the Beatsober video too, like the anime visuals. All right, let me try this. Let me just try rain, see if anything cool comes up. I mean, what I have is pretty good. It's just like a little dark because it's really black and white. This is kind of nice. Like, I wish that it was that photo with the cars with this like warm, grainy color palette. There we go. That's cool. Love that. That's so good. That's really good. Not strong enough. It's not strong enough. This could work. Not strong enough. I think that one with like the old school car was really good. Looking for kind of dreary, kind of sad, humble Rain Architect. It's kind of nice. Love the color of that. But it's like as an album, might not work. All right, I think we hit like a critical mass here of like what I'm gonna see. Did I grab that? Yeah, I grabbed that car one. I'm definitely using that. I love that one. Yeah. It's just it tells the story of the song, I think the best. And it's like it will be January, so this is a little like fall autumn vibes, but I again like these years fly by, you know what I'm saying? Like it'll be fall before we know it. And I'm trying to get on a bigger I'm trying to get this on some playlists. Yeah, we're gonna bottom align that. Yeah, that's really nice. And it's like you can see how it scales. So I think because we have rain in the song, that's just not gonna work. This one scales really well. This black and white car one, whereas this, it's kind of just messy. And I'm gonna feel better if I use this for the winter because it's like it's just more ambiguous the season. Whereas like this, I mean, I love this photo. Let me do one more listen and then I'll get some text going too. Same kind of things I'm looking for here. Humble font, or something that's like contrastingly not humble, like this bold one. Let me see. This is nice. I'm going to pull this into its own group. So each word is just its own little thing. And this way, I can kind of arrange it how I like. I can align the bottom of that R to like this little thing on the D. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I didn't plan on doing this on the stream, so we might like run out of time, but all right, this should be smaller for sure. Especially on that one. This is kind of more the style that I was seeing on that playlist. Yeah, this is too big. So let over here. See how that feels. It's kind of nice. That looks good. Oh, maybe if I love the colors, but let's just see if it feels more wintry if I make this black and white like the other one. It just loses so much, you know? I think if I were to use this one, it would be a different font. So let me see if something speaks to us here. Like that's... Hmm. Honestly, I was seeing stuff like this on the playlist, you know what I mean? But it's like, I can't do that. That's not bad. I like that. Um let's take that back to 0. I'd like this because this is sort of what you would see if someone like wrote it on the window. Or like the foggy window of the car. So let's save that. Look at a few others. Chat, do you have any recommendations? Do you have any favorites? Let me know. I think these are our options. Kind of like both of these. One more listen. This one hits hard. Let me go to Spotify and see like what kind of imagery they're using. It's just like, this can't be a coincidence. Like, I don't see text on... It's either text or, like, these patterns. I don't see text on... like, album art. Like, I typically... the same way that I see on... Lush Lo-Fi. This is nice. It kind of catches my attention. Like, it feels appropriate for the track. Now let me just see if we make this a gray instead of that bright white. Actually, pull it from the sky here. There you go, a little more cohesive. I'm down, let's do it. And it's like, it's crazy because with like with Distrokid and stuff, you can change the album art even after it's released. Which again is polarizing. Like, some people think it should be you know, some people think that you should have to submit a piece of music and then it's done. And like editing it and the real time kind of nature of everything doesn't uphold the integrity of the work, some people say. Um, we saw the first time I really saw like editing after release was with Life of Pablo by Kanye West. And I liked it. I thought it was like super fun. It's like this real time, like living piece of music that it almost brings a finite nature back to streaming because you don't, when if you make changes after you release, it kind of has this real time community feel to it where like you talk to people about the changes and it's like, oh, were you there for that change? And it reminds me of like, when people used to watch shows that premiered at a certain time. Um, and not when there was kind of like streaming every week a new episode, but like when there was only like a certain number of channels and everyone was kind of watching it and you would talk about it at school the next day. It's like it's this real time kind of like you have to be there or you miss it kind of thing. So I really appreciated that. Um, and yeah, so if we have to end up changing this, like it's not the end of the world, I don't think. So that's our album artwork. That's exciting. I was gonna make a canvas too. That it's kind of a video that plays while you're on Spotify, like the app, the video in the background. But I think I'm just gonna submit. Um, so this is kind of one of my favorite parts of the process. You finish the song, you have all this stuff kind of ready to go, and like this is the submission process. This is the title of the video too. So let's get into it. Um, there's a lot of different services you can use for this. I know Distrokid is, in my experience, by far the most common, but people like TuneCore, people like CD Baby. This to me is DistroKid to me is unbeatable because you pay one single price per year, and you are able to upload as much as you want. Um, so yeah, it's great, and I think it's the user experience is super intuitive, that kind of stuff. So I'm into it. But this is like the upload music page. Yeah, you can go here to my music. I'll just do this again, and here are all of our submissions, which like amazing. Vegas Gold, baby. That was like my producer only project before Metacara. That I sent Kyla Vegas Gold stuff to like write over, and then Metacara was born. I still have this Spotify profile, but like that's why DistroKid is the goat, because like a single account is like $30 a year, unlimited uploads, and a double account is like 40. So I'm spending $10 a year on my firstborn baby here. But yeah, and then you can see with each track, like here's all of the platforms that it's on. Um, you know, Approval of the artwork. You can, if you collaborate with any producers, you can split the proceeds or the earnings with them right through DistroKid. It's on all of these stores, which is awesome. You are provided with this hyperfollow page that it's basically like a landing page for the website or for the song. So there's preview, there's, and then all the major links, all the links to all the major streaming platforms. So yeah, I'm glad I went back to this page so I can do the monumental, the checkpoint hitting of the upload music button. We love that. Cool. I need to not share my screen for one thing to take my address off. Glad I remembered that. And we're back. So the first thing you see is all the services, and like There's not really, never heard of this shit. Like Quack Media? Like, what are you talking about? I mean, maybe it's more popular in other countries, you know? I could be ignorant to that. But basically, why not? Like, leave all these on. And I always turn on Snapchat manually. They make you do that because of some publishing thing, but we own all the publishing. So we're all good there. Um, People can use the song on Instagram, Snapchat. They can stream it on Spotify, you know. I wonder why TikTok, Resso, and Luna are grouped together. Like, are they owned by the same company? Like, what is that? What's going on there? Whoops. My bad. All right. Okay, okay. So this is a single, Breathe Deep. It has not been previously released through distribution or streaming services. It's going to be Metakara. And then here's all your like artist profile connections, which we've already set up, obviously, but it includes Spotify, Apple Music. So this way, they're not creating a new artist called Metakara. They're tapping into the existing one and adding this song. So I was going to, wow, love that. A little witty little error message. They have kind of witty messaging on here, which I appreciate. So we want to do a Friday for sure. Let me look at the calendar. So looking at the calendar, I was gonna do January 6th, like I said, but I just feel like it's gonna be a lot going on that day. I think that kind of stuff's important. So I'm gonna choose Friday the 13th. January 13th, Friday. Release time midnight. So this adapts, I think, based on the time zone, like you see here. I'm in New York, but if someone around the world listens to this, they will be able to hear it before 12 a.m. New York time. It'll be 12 a.m. their time. I always allow pre-order because that's like the pre-save enablement. So I'll make this 1 week before on January 6th. Record label, we're not signed, but we've just been using Kyvin. It's a combination of Kyla and Vincent. And we've always called this like just how like couples will have a combined name. You know what I'm saying? Benifer, newly reunited, that kind of thing. I mean, Kyvin is just incredible. We would probably name our child Kyvin. So yeah, here's a bunch of other. Well, there's all of our downloads for the album artwork from Unsplash, but we're gonna go into the Breathe Deep. I think it's good. It's like not a font that I would use typically, but I think it's gonna be good for Spotify and for these playlists. Like I like it better without that, but it's an experiment, honestly. I have a ton of singles that I'm gonna be putting out like this, so I just want to see like what works, you know, what doesn't. January 6th. Okay, yeah. English. Also, one of my least favorite parts is choosing the genre of like lo-fi hip hop. I mean, what is it? Is it just hip hop? And like they don't build these out at all and they don't make them specific because all those different platforms we looked at earlier use different genres, like slightly different. I think it's just hip hop. I think that's what I did for Epiphany Beats, my last beat tape. Yeah, I mean, what else would it be? Metal. Hell yeah. Electronic. No. Yeah, it's just going to be hip hop. Song title is Breathe Deep. Amazing. I just thought of something though. Going back to like the writing on the foggy window kind of idea. What if I made this like transparent? So So there's that. It just looks gray, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's not really achieving that effect. So I think we're good. Just give it a little more contrast, make it more legible. Like if I make it like that, it doesn't look like it's like drawn onto the window. It just looks gray. So we'll keep the contrast. Right? Breathe deep. Album art. There it is. I like it. I think it's good. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink shit. Kenny Beats said once. Okay. So there's no features on this, right? It's add featured artist to songs. Okay, yeah. No features. It's the normal version. And this is our master file that I've been listening to. Breathe Deep, MST. That's my, I have like MIX, which is a pre-master mix that I listen to. Like if I just want to listen to the instrumentation, I'm walking around the city, that kind of stuff. Like I'll call it MIX. And then once it's finished, MST. And if I make updates to it, honestly, I just replace the file. Like I'm not one to do like MST 1, 2, 3, like real final 2, version 6. Like it comes back to that kind of finite creation process. Like I just enjoy that. Like I'm committing to these changes. And if like the worst comes to worst, they have versioning on Logic that I can go back and revisit. So no Dolby Atmos. I wrote this song or manage it. Yep. I wrote this shit. There's no lyrics. So it's just going to be music. Vincent, Sebastian, Nania. No explicit lyrics. The song is clean. It always has been. This song is instrumental and contains no lyrics. Preview start time. I don't really have a preference. I'll just let them decide. The track price, if people are still buying iTunes music, I don't know who is, but okay. So this section, like it used to be like 2 options, like discovery pack and then one other thing. It's kind of like a lot to process now, I gotta be honest. But I always do the discovery pack. This lets you, like, it lets people Shazam your songs and that kind of thing. Like there's other apps that people use. I use Shazam. But this allows those people to, like, if they hear your song playing at a coffee shop or something, they Shazam it, they'll see you and they'll be able to go to your, go to your Spotify, listen to your stuff. This is some weird YouTube thing. Like, I just feel like I'm not in this lane. So I never use it. I might be someday, it's basically if you want to let YouTubers use your music, it has to do with when they use your music on their videos, like you'll get paid, so it's not like they can't use your music if you don't do this, but it's like, if you don't think a lot of people are going to really make videos with your music right away, it's not worth the $5 a year. But if you're popping off and some big videos are using your stuff, like if Casey Neistat picks up this song and puts it on a video, I'm going to regret not choosing this. But I think the chances of that are kind of low. Store Maximizer is an automated, it like adds your music automatically if new online stores come about. So if a new iTunes or a new Apple Music or a new Spotify comes out, they'll do due diligence and add my stuff automatically. But you don't need to do this because you could just, if you hear about a big streaming platform that releases, like I remember when Tidal dropped, just go back and it's a checkbox on your song. You could just go back and add it. Gotta get rid of these. I'm trying this like new Safari layout. I kind of like it, honestly. It's very minimal. That's kind of my style, but it's a little unwieldy on a stream. Social phone number. This is for marketing. Like if you want people to sign up for your marketing texts and like give them updates, like hey, new song drop, you can like literally get a phone number and put it on your profile or whatever, and people can sign up and get texts. Same idea as like email newsletters, but with text. Loudless normalization, we don't need to worry about because I mastered it. Title, master, MQA. This is for like, the lossless quality on title and stuff like that. Leave a legacy, I always want to do. It's like, they even say, even if you die, I think. Actually, they took that out. Yeah. So Distrokid will never delete the single, even if you cancel your account or your credit cards decline. Bro, they used to say, even if you die, they'll leave it on there. That used to scare me. That's why I wanted to get it. I was like, I might die. But I think, I don't know. If I die, then have someone upload my shit, please. Or just like keep this account going. These are just like agreements. So YouTube Music, Snapchat, yes, I opted into that. I opted into this. I recorded this. I'm authorized to sell it. I'm not using anyone else's names. And I read and agreed to the terms. Just do one last kind of glance. So all these stores, one song, Metacara, connected to all of our profiles. The release date is Friday the 13th, baby. Let's get it. Take it by the horns, because we're going to avoid a national, what should I call it? A coup? Like some people attacked the Capitol on that day, so I'm not going to put out a song on that day. Release time at midnight in listeners' time zone. Let people pre-order it on January 6th, which is a week before release. Here's the album artwork, which I've kind of grown to like. I like it. It's going to be good. I'm trying to change stuff because I've never been on one of these playlists. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to make myself uncomfortable like this to pursue a spot on one of those playlists. So it's uncomfortable. I wouldn't usually use text, but we're doing it. I think it's a fun font. It's minimal. It's small text. No harm. English. Hip hop. It's just, I guess. It's, it's lo-fi hip hop. So no secondary genre. Breathe deep. No other artists. There's no other versions. Breathe Deep MST is the final master. No Atmos. I wrote the song. Vincent Sebastian, Anania, music. No explicit lyrics. It's clean. It's instrumental and contains no lyrics. And we're going to let streaming services decide when it starts. Which I think is good. Let me see. Why not choose it? I'm just gonna let them decide. Again, I'm kind of experimenting. I don't know. Like I'm just gonna see. I always pick my favorite time, but it's like I don't know. Maybe they know something I don't know. Maybe they want to pick a specific part for their platform. So let's see what happens. Experimental, little lo-fi single. Because we're on Distrokid and you can upload as much as you want. Discovery pack. maximize all this other stuff's off, and our agreements. So here we go. Uploading. Single submitted. And another one of my favorite parts coming up. Any second. Done. That was easy. January 13th, pre-order on the 6th. Video stuff, and here's the hyper follow, which I didn't mention before, but before it's released, your pre-save lives here. What is that little white line? That's not in our... No. I think that's just... It is there. Yo, the white line is in there. Damn. Wow. I'm glad I caught that. Because you can update it. And it doesn't make you like pull it or anything. So shit. Wow. Okay. Glad I saw that. Stuff like that happens, you know. I used to get like upset when stuff like that happened, but it just happens. Like when you're putting out this much stuff, it's just bound to happen. Little mistakes. But let me choose breathe deep and go in here. And now I can show you, how to upload or how to update the album artwork, which I think it will let me do right now. Okay, we're gonna abort. So that's unfortunate because I think until it all processes, you can't just swap out. You can't just swap out the album art. So let's do this again. Speed run. Okay, no Medakara profiles. Release date January 13th. Speed run, baby. Listeners time zone. Let people pre-order on January 6th, 23. Kyvan. Choose our actual album art, which is correct. Wow, that's crazy. Let me just make sure one more time that I didn't like. No. All the edges are good. 3,000 by 3,000. 3,000 by 3,000. Yeah, it's centered. We're good. Glad we caught it. Album art uploaded. Cool. Primary genre is hip hop because it's lo-fi hip hop. Song title. Breathe deep. No featured artist. Normal version. Here's the master. MST.wave. I wrote the song. Vincent Nania. No explicit lyrics. It's clean and it always has been. It's instrumental. We're going to let streaming services decide. We'll see what happens. I'll report back on that. I'm guessing it'll just do the beginning, honestly. I don't know. We'll see though. There's enough algorithmic music analysis stuff out there that I wouldn't be surprised if it chose a specific part, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it was if it just played from the beginning. Okay. An address just showed on this section, but it's actually not. It's actually my old address. It's not where I live anyway, so probably still cut it out in post, but you know, didn't mean to do that. Okay. YouTube Music as a store, all of these opt-ins, and then we just have to go through one more time and make sure everything looks good. January 13th, 12th, or January 13th, 12 a.m. Listeners time zone. Let them pre-order on January 6th. And I recommend doing this. Like, always just double check. Because as you saw, there's going to be mistakes. But it's always good to double check. Breathe deep. I didn't notice the white line because it's on a white background. You know what I'm saying? No other featured artists. It's the normal version. Here's the master. No Dolby. Dolby. Kyla and I always, when we see Dolby, the badge pop up, we'll say like Dolby. I wrote this song. My name is that. No explicit lyrics. It's clean because there's no lyrics. Let you decide when to play it whenever you want. You know what I'm saying? Play it whenever you want. Discovery pack, no others, and we're good. Boom. And again, less climactic this time, but here we go. One interesting thing to note, this is not the first time I've had to abort a song from Distrokid. But one thing to note is that hyperfollow link, and this doesn't really matter, the hyperfollow link now has a 2 at the end of it because it's a new submission, basically. And yeah, that looks great. There's no line at the bottom. I mean, that would have sucked, you know, if I had that line. So, you know, little hiccup at the end, but I'm glad we did it. Thanks for being here with me. Could have been anywhere in the world. I appreciate you so much. And I'm excited about this track, honestly. I really like it. It's sounding bomb. And I think it hangs in there with the best of them on a lush lo-fi type playlist. So that's all for this evening. I'm here every Tuesday. That's like, I'm in the rhythm now. It's gonna keep happening. Subscribe to our channel if you aren't already. And tune in Tuesdays. I'm also gonna be doing some other kind of like streams around this single, like the whole process. I might do like pitching to Spotify playlists next with this song. But next week I'll probably just jam out, make a new track maybe, react to some music videos or other music related stuff. I do kind of all the above. Again, we're experimenting. But thank you so much. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. This is Breathe Deep, coming out January 13th. Follow us on Spotify. Pretty safe. Love you. Thank you so much.